Would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
And you won't be angry?
I will not be angry.
Abbey someone.
Abbey someone. Abbey who?
Abbey normal.
This is the Abbey Normal Podcast, here to tell you that you're weird, and that's normal. I can tell by watching the way he watches you with a twinkle in his eye, you have truly found the P to your V. Then it says, pause for laughter. Future bride Vicky is down to the end. She's had emotional ups and downs in her wedding planning process, but now, just a few weeks out, she's stabilized. So we're gonna get to that, and to her bachelorette party. But let's do a quick review of the final components that have been planned and are ready to go. First, the day before the wedding, which includes the rehearsal. It's just family. Vicky's sister is her matron of honor, and her niece is her maid of honor. And Patrick's brothers will be on his side. And then the rehearsal dinner afterwards.
Rehearsal at the ranch, and then we're having the rehearsal dinner at Springville Inn. Okay. They have a room that you can get for like $100, and they have like world famous pizza salad bar, and like the families can come and we can all sit, and like Patrick's family, my family, and friends. The list that I have so far is like 16 people. And so we would just all sit and eat pizza and listen to music and hang out. And then those of us who want to go downstairs and drink at the bar, we can get a couple drinks.
Mm-hmm. She booked herself a suite at the Springville Inn for after the rehearsal dinner. And Patrick is going to stay with his family.
They have a big bridal suite that's like multiple rooms big, so that like as many of us who wanted to spend the night with the bride could all stay and have like a slumber party the night before.
I think we're using the term party loosely, because this honey is going to bed on time, relatively sober. Everybody has their own opinions on what a wedding should be and look like, and I don't want to bash anyone's choices. But when I was talking to Vicky about my assistant job to photographer Rod,
he has like the best mullet you've ever seen.
It brought up some things that Vicky is not going to do at her celebration.
There's so many photographers in town, and they all do the cheesy jumping and the picture of the wedding
I'm
dress.
sorry. We're over 40. No one is jumping.
No one is jumping. Also, no one is pretending to take off a piece of my underwear and throwing it to people.
No.
Nor am I going to. I always absolutely hated people singling out the single women and making them come out on the floor to catch the bouquet from the bride who's now so much better than them. I'm absolutely not doing that either.
No. After so many weddings over the years, she knows what she likes and does not like. So that's it. They're ready to go. So now Vicky is focusing on ensuring her bod is ready for the big day.
I'm like mapping out my periods like a crazy person because I absolutely don't want to have the female flu at my wedding. And so my period's supposed to be the week before, and I hope that I will be well done with it by then. But we will see, how that shit goes, man.
Oh, I do. Pour yourself that tea and say a prayer to the menstrual gods.
So I got my lips filled yesterday, and they're really swollen this morning. They're not going to look like this forever. I do have a Botox bruise on my forehead. But yeah, this morning I feel like my face was poked full of needles yesterday because it was.
Oh yeah. Do you like it?
On the wedding day, her face is going to look as smooth and vibrant as her heart is going to feel.
See, now I am like so open to the idea that I don't know how things are going to feel.
As she sits back and prepares her mind for getting married, I wanted to dig in more here, see if she could visualize what she wants to feel like beyond the flowers and favors. Yeah, so what would it feel like in your best version of this day?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I think fun and moving and peaceful. Like, I don't want to be all worked up or stressed out. That's absolutely not. I'm not letting that happen.
Yeah. The only feeling she can possibly compare it to is when she got engaged 3 short months ago.
So that I can look back on it and feel the feeling that I felt that day, which is moved and changed. And I'm going into this single and coming out of this married, and I'm really looking forward to like actually making those vows and feeling what that feels like.
Yeah.
And like absorbing that. But I don't know, like as soon as he asked me, I felt it immediately. All he did was ask me one question and give me a ring, and it felt amazing. So this is going to be a lot of words. This is going to be a whole ceremony. So I can't imagine, if that one gesture and sentence blew my mind, like how much is all the vows and ceremony and everything's going to blow my mind,
Right.
And then, the celebrating we're going to do afterwards, because you have to. Like, I feel like that's the only appropriate response, right?
Yes. Vicky wants her wedding day to feel fun, moving, and peaceful. She doesn't want to be worked up or stressed out. And I want that for her too. How are you planning to protect your peace that day?
I think all the work that I'm doing now, the planning, preparing, because that's the kind of person that I am. Like, I have to plan and prepare. And so you can only plan and prepare so much, I know. And then it's going to go how it's going to go from there, right? So I don't have like unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
That everything I plan is going to go perfectly. Everything we plan isn't going to go perfectly how we planned it, and everything how I see it in my mind's eye. So I think accepting that and knowing that going in, right?
Yeah.
I think is important.
Right.
And also, I've been working with my therapist every week and talking all this stuff through and like just making sure to keep my perspective in check.
Right.
What would you say? Because you've been in this position before. I've never been in this position before.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think you're on the right track. Like, every little detail is not going to be the way that you want it to be. And it doesn't fucking matter.
Yes. I say that so much. And it's like photographer, florist, cake baker. They're all like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm hiring you because you're the professional. Like, you tell me. Like, I don't really care that much,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's the whole thing about like not sweating the small stuff, right? Like,
yeah.
The only thing that you need to care about is like looking at Patrick, telling Patrick how you feel, listening to how he feels, looking into his eyes. That's all. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's the whole thing. That's the whole purpose of the whole thing. Being there for each other, right?
Right. Like what we wear, who else is there, the entertainment, the food, the decorations.
All of that will be good and fun, period. Like, You will have a problem with the DJ or your band. You will have a problem with the photographer. You will have a problem with the food. Like, you will. There will be things. Those things are not going to be perfect. You're going to be like, well, this isn't exactly how I wanted it. And it doesn't matter, right? And also, everyone is going to have fun. And nobody is going to notice the things that you notice. So,
yeah, like I told them that we wanted the shrimp, but we want it peeled because they served it unpeeled. And I didn't want to peel shrimp in my dress.
Absolutely not.
I don't feel like peeling shrimp in a formal kind of setting is appropriate. Right?
No, absolutely not. But see, that's the kind of thing, like, you know that in advance for some reason. But that is absolutely a thing that would happen that you didn't expect. That the shrimp show up with tails on and you don't like it.
Right.
So, can you get through shrimp with tails on when it shows up on your plate?
Yeah.
It's okay to care, to have an aesthetic vision for the day. But when it arrives, if you're still caught up in those details, perfection, you won't be happy. We've been talking about planning this wonderful wedding event, but what it's really about is just two people making a commitment to each other for what they hope to be the rest of their lives. We're all just there in fancy dress to witness that moment. Erin offered Vicky some advice to send to herself the day of.
She said even though she isn't and wasn't at the time a runner, the morning of her wedding, she jogged for like 10 minutes just to like get the stress out.
Right.
And she said it helped her to be calm and to go with the flow. And it just like, exercise, endorphins, put you in a better mood.
So Vicky made a little morning plan for herself. Casual, slow coffee sipping, some light yoga, and prayer time alone. I'm sure we'll be doing lots of deep breathing together. Here's where Vicky and Patrick, as wife and husband, will end up when it's all over.
We're staying at a B&B in Three Rivers for a few days afterwards. And it's just like a bunch of little cabins on the river. And it looks like a rushing river. It looks really pretty. And all the reviews said that you could just hear the river. There's like a balcony and a patio where there's just chairs. So I figure we'll just be like probably completely dead and just sit there for 2 days. And then like on the third day, go drive up maybe into the mountains, into the canyon, like Kings Canyon Park. But yeah, I think it's going to take time to sink in.
The theory is that their new reality may take time to sink in. Or maybe like when they got engaged, it will feel different and amazing right away. They'll find out. But before we get to that point, we had to have one last hurrah with Vicky as an unmarried woman. So we called in the strippers. Just kidding. That's not Vicky's speed. But we did have an epic Bachelorette weekend. Erin, who has become the mother hen of this gang, planned practically everything. This text revealed the party priorities. Quote, awesome yurts in the middle of the desert, bonfire, stargazing, hot springs for soaking. End quote. Yep, we went glamping. It was glam because the tents were pre-set up and had space heaters. But we were working with an outdoor shower and camp toilets. I think that's roughing it. Thank God Erin magically had coffee ready each morning. That's the one thing I can't do without. Here's what she was thinking about while walking the dog the day before we left.
Happy to see that it's warming up a little bit for the weekend. I'm nervous. I'm getting a little nervous about all the things that need to be in my car. But like firewood and ice chests and chairs, sleeping bags. We definitely need firewood for this weekend.
Day one, we went on a little hike and Vicky told us all about the geology of Joshua Tree. We went to a spa and sat in their mineral hot spring tubs for hours and ate overpriced Buddha bowls at the cafe. Went back to camp and ate hot dogs and then cozied up around the fire with hats and gloves and mini wool socks.
All right. Thank you. You're getting one. And you should love it more than you hate it. Really happy y'all made it. This was one of the beats that we put on like the beats for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The instrumental versions.
Mm-hmm. It's a good beat.
We were having fun, chilling in the California desert.
Is anyone close to the drinks? Are they within your arm range, Abby?
What do you want?
White Claw, please. Yeah.
And we wanted to have a moment to acknowledge what Vicky means to us and launch her with our abundant blessings off into marriage. So we planned a little something. We each shared and then attached a flower to a crown that she could wear all night. It was a sweet time. But I need to be honest that, firstly, none of us are particularly crafty. Our one sweet craft friend Christine was sick and couldn't make it.
On my chair.
And you flung it? Did you give up, Steph?
She cut her things this long. Sorry, I cut it too short.
It's okay. There's no wrong way to attach your flower to the crown.
That's the way I did it.
So we struggled a little with the flower part. And out of the 7 friends, we have 6 divorces between us. So I'll just say we don't lean hard into the joy of marriage conversation. But we are all in behind Vicky and Patrick. And thus, I think she knows that our words and advice are not given lightly.
And you are 2 of the most fucking incredible, wonderful, sweet, amazing people. You care for other people so hard. And you're like the Care Bear power couple. When we went up to our Labor Day trip, I left my car at your house. And Patrick had just not even said anything and filled up my tank. He really, as an extension of you, he takes care of your friends and your family, and it's because he loves you. And that love just radiates and ripples out from you to everyone you love, and I'm so happy I get to be a part of this bigger family.
Stephanie shared how when she was cleaning out her grandma's house, Vicky and Patrick showed up to help with boots and gloves on. They're the kind of people that do that. They show up.
So, Steph, going back to what you were saying, I was just thinking, okay, so that'll be our code word, when I need help.
There you go. Yes.
I need you with your boots and your truck.
Boots and gloves. Boots and gloves. Katie echoed this sentiment about Vicky.
You are one of the kindest people I know.
Sick Christine had sent her words to me to share with Vicky.
I can tell by watching the way he watches you with a twinkle in his eye. You have truly found the P to your V. Then it says, pause for laughter.
I'll let Christine herself share the marital advice she gave.
The one small piece of advice I would give, if I had to give one, is, hey, it's okay to go to bed angry. If you do ever find yourself in a fight with Patrick, sometimes it's better just to sleep on it and look at the situation with a fresh perspective after a full night's sleep. Benadryl and a melatonin gummy always do the trick for me.
Always do the trick for me.
Oh my goodness, I just love you so much.
That was so sweet. I feel like I can't even go now.
I know, right?
Why did all the things? What Teen said.
Tamara called Vicky a rainbow unicorn who floats through life picking out the good parts.
And it's really nice to see that you're finally getting the things that you really wanted, and found that love that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with.
Her advice was to choose your marriage.
You have to choose your marriage.
And sometimes you compromise, and sometimes you don't.
Just know in the back of your mind, this is the person that I'm sticking it out with, and we'll figure it out. Sometimes you compromise, and sometimes you don't.
And Erin's advice for a happy marriage: let all the expectations of how it should be go.
My advice would be just try not to, it's really hard not to have expectations. That's the hardest part of marriage for me, is expecting it to be a way, or expecting things to be a way. And that's when I find I get the most frustrated and most angry. And when I'm able to like let my expectations go, that's when I find the most peace and comfort in where I am.
She's not saying that it's easy, but it's worth trying.
Let it be its own marriage, its own relationship. Let it blossom and evolve. People change over the course of their life. So who you're married to now may be different to who you're married to in 10 years. And it's good because that's an opportunity to fall in love over and over and over again. But it's also good not to expect anything from people. Expect your marriage to be a certain way. Yeah. Let it be what it is.
With all the earlier talk about letting the wedding expectations go, Vicky resonated with this too.
Yeah, like being more focused on what's actually happening as opposed to what you wish or think should be happening.
Should happen. Yeah, and I think you, like, my observation is that you've gotten really good at that, actually. Like, and that's part of the reason you guys are so good together.
It's like that's what the last 4 years has taught me.
Yeah.
She's already been working on it for 4 years. Her expectations of when you get engaged, what the appropriate duration of dating is before you get married, what a man does when he loves you, even the expectation that you get married.
3.5, almost 4 years. So the fact that you guys put up with me and all of that and listened to all of that and had all of these millions of heart-to-hearts with me about, like, I love him and I don't know if he wants to marry me and I don't know what to do, and like we've all had that conversation each one of us at some point.
But we've all had our like Patrick marry me situation of our own that you've listened to a million times, and that's, you know, that's what we do for each other. And I am going to be the first to say it was hard for me that he wasn't proposing to you because I wanted it to happen so bad.
Yeah, it's been rough. And I couldn't have made it through without you guys. I wouldn't have grown in the way that I did. I wouldn't have realized that, like, I just came to a realization that it was like, I wanted him. I didn't want to be married. I just wanted him. Instead of, I want to be married. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, those are two very different things that I think that time has shown. And, like, you guys helped me get there. And, like, I couldn't have gotten there without you guys.
That about wrapped up sharing time, and things descended into chaos.
In the words of the great poet Lizzo, about damn time.
Or I should say, they ascended into the witchy world of desert delight. We danced around the fire, sipping off our obligatory penis straws, with Vicky looking every bit a glorious queen in her crown, her slightly lopsided flower crown of friendship. Well, regardless of how April 1st goes, I hope Vicky knows how much her friends love her. She said she already has the unconditional love of her dad, so she knows what real love is. But I hope she knows that that's how we love her too. Maybe that's part of what makes planning for a good wedding so overwhelming. How can she possibly add a lifetime love on top of what she's already got? We're ready. Let's do this thing.
So I'm going to tell you right now, the joy to see Vicky all dressed up in her beautiful dress next weekend, Patrick is just going to cry.
Do you think this is on the wedding song list? Right? Perfect for the wedding, right?
As this episode is going live, I got this text from Erin, quote, I just hung up with Vicky. I guess things got all messed up because their rehearsal was scheduled for Friday and the ranch ended up scheduling a wedding on Friday, so they're kind of scrambling and stressed, end quote. So I guess there's not going to be a rehearsal, which is probably fine, except maybe the flower pup and ring paw might need practice. And then Vicky got a text from that lovely little cabin on the river that they were staying at. Quote, "We've been experiencing extreme weather and flooding. Sequoia National Park is currently closed." End quote. So these are bigger disappointments than shrimp with tails on. Will Vicky keep her peace?